Ndị be anyị ekenekwanụ m unu. Anyị sị ka nke onye chiri ya zelụkwa. Anyị si ndụ mmiri ndụ azụ, mmiri atara m azụ anwụra. Anyị sọ ya dara n'Igbo na mma na ihe ya dịka echi na echi ada agwụ agwụ. Otu anyị kwuru ya, otu akọ ya dịrịrị. Ise dịka o si dị, ife anyị ji maka ewebe n'iru akwụkwọ bụ ya bụ program anyị na-eme every morning na anyị na-akpọ ya morning tea n'iru akwụkwọ. Ebe ife ka anyị ji maka ya wee bịa. O nwere nnukwu update anyị wetara n'iru akwụkwọ. Ife a bụ cabinet meeting on United States of Biafra was maka the way forward and the update on Biafran Prime Minister and Maazị Nnamdi Kanu. Ya bụ ife ka anyị chịkọrọ, ya bụ ife ka anyị wetara n'iru akwụkwọ n'ụbọchị uhuruchi nke taa. Biko ọ bụ na nke ụbọchị izi gị kabalụ ka ịtụsa ya bụ ozi na ị ga-esi ya and dropụra ife iche n'ụdị nke gị gbasịta maka ya bụ ife niile na ụmụnne anyị dị iche iche kwugasịrị n'iru akwụkwọ on their own opinion. All right, over to you, sir.
The ultimate. We all know that we Biafrans have a central position in the true history of mankind. Civilization, democracy, be it socially and politically, through our different community structures, spirituality, and many others. Even Biafra fulfills all the objective criteria the international treaties outlined for establishing a statehood. We have a permanent population of more than 70 million people, functioning government with all the relevant departments, including defense and foreign affairs. We have a defined territory. We have the ability to engage in diplomatic relations with foreign states and respect for human rights and self-determination. Your solid mandate, no going back. So when 50 million of us have spoken, nothing can stop their consensus from coming to light. We, the members of the United States of Biafra's government, meanwhile, led by my humble self, the Deputy Prime Minister, are committed and resolute to fully restore our sovereignty and territorial integrity. As we use this occasion to honorably notify you, we shall continue to reach out to the different actors in our homeland, inviting and appealing particularly to those of them that are Biafrans for their understanding, well-meaning, and unreserved cooperation and support for a peaceful process. After all, that is our people's ultimate desire right now. We need peace in our land. The government of our now our neighbor Nigeria, is already notified respectfully and peacefully. And we continue to reach out and have our arms open to receiving them for a constructive and roundtable dialogue that aims at attaining a peaceful dissolution and acknowledgement of Biafra's re-establishment. We dissolve Nigeria and we establish Biafra. An irremediable withdrawal from the amalgamation, we express our aim of achieving an amenable and favorable solution for our countries, for our country's future as neighbors, taking into consideration the people and the population, protection of the lives and properties of the people of our both countries, achieving eventual diplomatic ties and bilateral relations and agreements. Please note that we don't have anything against the ordinary people of the failed entity of Nigeria. They are our brothers, our sisters, our families, our neighbors. They are fellow Africans. It is the government of the entity led by the inhuman crooks and fraudsters that rehabilitates non-terrorists and ship them down to different parts of the country to kill Christians, to kill indigenous Nigerians, Those are the people we are referring to as the enemy of the people. We extend an olive branch and ask for the immediate withdrawal of all its bodies, military, police, security, and so on from the Biafra territory. This is for the Nigerian state to do so immediately. We've notified them before. We are notifying them again. Our government is capable and takes charge and provides for our people's needs. Seeking relation and friendship among foreign states. Our young nation, the United States of Biafra, is dedicated to establishing a mutual, favorable, and robust diplomatic ties with nations worldwide, promoting respect and cooperation. Hence, the Biafran government is officially reaching out to foreign states for recognition of our sovereignty, advocacy for our nation, establishment of bilateral relations, and cooperation in subsequent areas of common interest, like economic partnerships, humanitarian support to ensure the well-being and prosperity of our citizens. We appreciate and commend the United Nations members, Gabon, Haiti, Ivory Coast, Tanzania, and Zambia. We also appreciate Amazonia and the Eritrean government in exile who have continued to recognize Biafra. Other countries like the Eritrean government in exile have officially recognized our independence. Several congressmen and women in the United States of America, South Korea, and Europe have expressed positive position to the independence of the United States of Biafra. But be clear, United States of Biafra does not need the recognition by the United Nations to be a sovereign state. The global political and economic community is undergoing turbulence and fragmentation. The changing geopolitical dynamics from decades of the unipolar world to an increasingly multipolar world where the influence of global powers is more fragmented is a visible development. These changes obviously affect the world global landscape economically and politically, hence cannot be ignored. The United States of Biafra acknowledges this wind of change as a positive and favorable wind and path to follow us, as we have been fighting against the transnational repression, hostile occupation, and destabilization by Nigerian terrorist state in our territory. Nigeria and its allies have maintained tight stranglehold on Biafrans and Biafra while controlling our territory to our detriment. The government of the United States of Biafra is committed to providing economic progress and stability to our people, as well as contributing promoting the similar in the African community and regions. We aim at seizing the opportunity of the current world order to work with these African heads of state who share the same ambition with Biafrans to promote the African cause of reclaiming full territorial integrity and sovereignty as well as economic independence. Resource in Biafra land is a known fact that our nation Biafra is blessed with both human and natural resources. The fundamental reason for the forceful amalgamation into Nigeria and something which remains a main source of our bad situation. Through history, our resources have been exploited. It is still ongoing by Nigeria and its foreign allies. And our environment has been polluted and grossly damaged in the process of extracting the natural resources and has as such ruined other means of livelihood for the people. Biafra strongly says no to these decades of exploitative acts and will not give room for such to prevail or continue to prevail. We have also notified all foreign companies milking the crude oil in Biafra land to start paying the 50 million naira or 50 million AJ, which is the Biafran currency, into the Biafra government purse every month. This money will help us rebuild our nation from the devastation that's come upon us by these countries. It will also help us rebuild our nation and help us provide basic resources to our people in areas of healthcare, education, economic, agriculture, and immigration services. Such amount is a drop in the ocean compared to the thousands of dollars these companies get monthly from the Biafra territory. Public announcements have also been made on that the Monday Sit at Home is active in all Biafra land to tell the oil companies and the Nigerian agents that Biafra is a sovereign nation. The Monday Sit at Home continues and has continued for the past 2 years voluntarily by all Biafrans to send a message that Biafra is a sovereign nation and to release our leader Nnamdi Kanu, who has been held by the Biafran state for the past 4 or 5 years. Despite the law system, despite the United Nations Committee that told Nigeria to release Nnamdi Kanu and compensate him, Nigerian state have refused to do that. The Monday Sit at Home continues. Why we must remain steadfast in defending our independence? We all know that we as a people have been fighting against transnational repression, hostile occupation of Biafra land, and influx of terrorist insurgents and militias into our territory, sponsored and ordered by our now neighbor and ex, the failed entity. What haven't we been subjected to? Is it the repression system, the persecution of Christians? Biafrans are mostly Christians. The human rights violations for decades, the multiple and perpetual genocide, or the relentless extinction threats. Biafrans are mostly Christians, traditionalists, and Judaists. Just to name some of the spacious acts of extinction driven with impunity. The 1945 sudden and savage attack on Biafrans, resident in the north, who were taken completely by surprise by the Nigerian state. And before the situation could be brought under control, the bodies of Biafran men, women, and children littered the streets and their property worth thousands of pounds, reduced to shambles. No consequence on those responsible. No compensation to Biafrans. The 1966 massacre of more than 700,000 Biafrans all over the failed state, simply for being Biafrans. It's only now, almost 60 years later, that some main actors and perpetrators are coming out to acknowledge their evil deed with their final boarding pass in their hands. Our own heroes, Colonel Chukwuemeka Odumegwu and General Philip Effiong, as well as several other actors, narrated the true story. But the crooks either declined from commenting or went on perpetuating their lies, only to start now to attract last attention and honor for committing such atrocity on mankind. Even with their book of cruelty, they know themselves and know fully well that they have not told it all. This shows how determined they have always been on accomplishing their project of extinction of us, as they continued to do. The 1967 to 1970, together with their colonial master Britain and almost the entire world power, they executed the genocidal war that took the lives of over 5 million Biafrans. The main man, with his body pass, begging to board, sheltered in their colonial master's land, wants to carry his evil to the other side. Most of them at this point have
ndị be anyị ngwa nne n'ukwu n'isi wee na-esonyere anyị n'iru akwụkwọ n'ụbọchị uhuruchi nke taa. Ka efi were ikwu gbasịta maka ya bụ ihe Biafran Chief of Staff kwuru n'iru akwụkwọ bụ Dr. NGOZI ORABUEZE. Gịnị ka i were ikwu n'ụdị nke gị gbasịta maka ebe ife ndị a niile nọ okwu n'iru akwụkwọ? Drọpụọla ya alụ gị, drọpụọla ya ife iche n'ụdị nke gị ka a mara ife iche your own reaction gbasịta maka ya bụ ife na Eastern News 24 ebe anyị si wetara ya bụ ozi. Ọzọ dị ka ibe ya bụ tụsakwa ya bụ ozi ka ụmụnne anyị dozi n'ebe dị iche iche wee marakwa ife na-emenụ and wee mara the update on the latest development on Biafra Republic government in exile. Daalụ rinne na ụmụnne m, ka emesịanụ.